heavy metals and chemicals are a huge threat to our health on so many different levels. I mean, I've been researching toxic metals and chemicals for almost a decade now, and I'm just amazed at how I read about how almost every single health issue, diagnosis, symptoms, psychiatric diagnosis can have an underlying metal or chemical component that's contributing to that or outright causing it. And so it's really very, very clear to me that you do need to detox metals and chemicals if you want to permanently resolve health issues.
That's Wendy Myers, and this is episode 205 of Wellness Force Radio. What's up, my friend? It's your host, Josh Trent, and welcome back to another episode for your weekly access to global experts in all things wellness as we discover the physical and emotional intelligence we need to live life well. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. For episode 205, we talk with Wendy Myers, who's become a global detoxification specialist over the past decade plus. We're talking about the role of detox in longevity, because this question of how do we actually live to be 100 or 110 years old, I want to know the answer. And I know you do too. This curiousness we both share. This is why you're going to love this podcast. And what's most interesting actually about this conversation is not just the power of detox, but Wendy's story, how a family member's illness changed the course of her life forever. And in dealing with her own health struggles, she's formulated a platform now that serves hundreds of thousands of people across the world. The effectiveness of detoxes and the debunking of all the misappropriated and cherry-picked studies out there, we're going there. We're going to give you the truth behind the curtain. And what I'm so stoked for you to learn today on the podcast is this real truth. Because over time, the real truth is undefeated. Yet we live in a time when there's paradoxically so much info that it's almost as challenging to find what really works for us than if there was no info at all. So in this episode, we're answering questions that were posted in our private Facebook group for Wendy around detox and so much more. If you're not in our Facebook group, what are you waiting for? We're waiting for you over at wellnessforce.com/group. Join the group. I'll send you free guides. We'll welcome you to the community. We'll give you a shout out. We'll give you a digital hug. Just go there, wellnessforce.com/group. This is where you can ask an upcoming guest questions that relate to you, exactly where you are in the wellness journey. Now, in this episode, we talk with Wendy about why coffee enemas help us to detox, the myths and mistakes people make about detox, including these juice fasts and juice cleanses, why detoxification gets to be a lifestyle and how we can actually do that, a detox protocol called the mitochondria detox that includes a binder, a bioenergetic supplement, and activated silica, the nuts and bolts order of operations for detoxification, the steps you can follow to truly eliminate the things in your body that don't belong there, and how big pharmaceutical companies are censoring what HHPs and natural medicine experts are sharing online, which is doubly fascinating and upsetting at the same time. We also explore what an NES health practitioner is and how bioenergetics and programming play into this health model. Show notes from today are at wellnessforce.com/205. You can also get the IntelliSkin Human Technology Smart Compression right now if you want to get better posture at the standing desk or the sitting desk, or in your weekend workouts. This smart compression pulls your shoulders back, cueing you in a better posture so you can take bigger diaphragmatic breathing breaths. And let's face it, we're all needing to stand up taller in this life. And this smart compression can help you do that. Just go to IntelliSkin.net, enter code WF20 to get 20% off your smart compression. Now let's step in with Wendy Myers on how we can live to 110. Wendy Myers, thank you so much for joining us. I am so curious. I've been so curious for the past 6 months or more learning about you, understanding how big of a role that detox plays in our life, and honestly, just how much ambiguity is out there around detoxification and heavy metals. I think it's probably one of the most Googled things, right up there with like, how do I lose my belly fat? But just thank you so much for coming on the show today. For people that haven't heard of you and Myers Detox and all the work, the Live to 110 podcast, all the FDN certifications you've gotten, fill us in a little bit. Give us the 30-second skinny on Wendy.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm really passionate about heavy metal detoxification and chemicals, of course, too. And, I have my podcast. I'm really into bioenergetics and melding bioenergetics with detoxification as well, and using bioenergetics to facilitate detoxification, which I'm sure sounds super confusing. But I just came to this space and wanted to help other people through my own health issues, and my father dying of esophageal cancer and the treatments from his cancer. And that kind of propelled me to want to start my website, which is now called myersdetox.com, to try to educate people about, what they may not be getting informed about by their doctor, which is heavy metals and chemicals that are really a big underlying root cause of people's health issues that are not going to get addressed at their doctor's office. And they just go through this mill of getting all these medications that make them sicker and make their liver toxic when they, everyone has heavy metals in their body and they need to address them at some point. And so I just like to educate people about that on my site.
Well, that's what you do. And then some. I think people know you from the Live to 110 show, which I had such a great time with you on that podcast. It was like 30 minutes of compressed wisdom that anybody can get value from. So we'll link that in the show notes for this one. But I'm thinking about how many people have this lack of education for detoxification. I mean, maybe we could even start with just the definition, Wendy, of detoxification. Like how many different things are on Wikipedia and online about what detox actually is. Someone that lives and breathes this world. What do you feel like? What's your definition of detoxification?
Well, it's essentially, I like to focus on heavy metal detoxification because that is really a starting point for people, and like taking binders and things like that will easily gobble up or absorb heavy metals, because everyone has heavy metals in their body like mercury and lead and aluminum and other things of that nature. And that really impede their metabolic function, impede their body's ability to produce energy. And so, I really like to dispel a lot of myths about detox on my site. A lot of people aren't taking the right supplements, or they're not doing the right protocols, or they're doing juice fasts, or they're doing things that really they're making some mistakes, or they're taking supplements, but they're not taking for long enough. Detox is really like a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. It's not something you do for a 10-day detox in a box or a cleanse once a year. It's really something you need to make as a lifestyle. Or
what's at its deepest core then? I mean, if you were telling detox to a 10-year-old, how would you explain it to him?
Well, it's removing heavy metals and chemicals from your body slowly and safely.
Slowly and safely. Yeah. I think we met, I got the pleasure of meeting you in person here in San Diego a couple months ago. And you were like, I tell people that this will take months and years. Detoxification is truly a lifestyle. It reverberates with Dr. Minkoff. We talked about the soil, how much crap is in our soil. Babies are being born that have glyphosate and heavy metals in the baby. The baby's never even eaten any food. It's just eaten the food that it got from its mother. So what continues to drive you? Is it really what you experienced from losing your dad, or what continues to drive you? I'm sure that played a massive role. The love for him. That's what really drove me to do this podcast, was experiencing like pain from my mom's illness and seeing my dad and people that I cared about not living this life that we all deserve to live. Does that continue to fuel you?
Yeah, it does. Because my father really sparked the interest in me about health. He really, since I was a child, talked to me about health and different diets. We used to do the Pritikin diet together, which is that BS, no fat diet. And we used to just, talk about health all the time. And he would teach me so many things about cooking healthy, and just filled me with such a wonderful education. And so that really sparked a lifelong passion and love of health. And then to watch this brilliant man at the hands of his conventional medical doctors just, die over time. Not only that, he was on 10 different medications for a decade before he died. And I just saw him really as a victim of the conventional mainstream medical big pharma scam.
Yeah.
Where, they're making money off of our health, and, our families are dying. Beloved family members are dying because of, the hold that big pharma has, of this monopoly that they have on our health, and suppressing, like my friend Mike Adams, he's got, Google, erasing his whole YouTube account because big pharma owns Google. Big pharma.
Wait, tell us about
Facebook.
that. What's going on there?
Yeah, well, my friend Mike Adams, he owns naturalnews.com. He's got 500,000 followers on YouTube. YouTube deleted his YouTube account.
Without warning.
Because he talks about vaccines and talks about other things that they're trying to censor, health companies saying that they're fake news. And so this is a threat to our First Amendment rights of free speech and to speak about the truth. And because Big Pharma does so much advertising on those platforms, my daughter watches YouTube and I see these Big Pharma ads on YouTube. So Big Pharma it's just a real threat. And then with net neutrality, when people do searches on Google, they're not going to have the natural health websites come up. And it's unfortunate, but it's one of the things that I do. What I do is I'm really passionate about trying to educate people about how to address their health issues naturally. Because even my uncle right now is stage 4 lung cancer, is going through chemo and just doing that whole deal that it's going to kill him within a very short period of time. And so I'm just trying to help people avoid those same fates.
Man, you are such a warrior. Like coming from the background that you've had and the education you've had, I'm looking at the site and I'm seeing that FDN, hair mineral analysis, nutritional balancing, certified holistic health coach, also an NES health practitioner. What exactly is that? What's an NES health practitioner?
Yeah, well, that's the Bioenergetic program that we offer. And I met the CEO of that company, NES Health, about a year and a half ago, and I started his Bioenergetic program. And I was really blown away by approaching my body energetically rather than physically, where you're taking supplements or you're taking medications or to kind of elicit a physical effect. So when you're working bioenergetically in the body, you're identifying with the software that Harry Massey developed, energetic blocks in your body, and then using the protocols of NES Health to clear the energetic blocks. And in doing that, you restore your body's communication system, you restore physical function. And I just had such a tremendous release, like emotionally, and I was able to sleep better. I had a bit more energy. My back pain went away. Just all these different things. I just had such dramatic results with it.
Yeah.
And so I got certified. Now we have about 4 practitioners offering this bioenergetic protocol. But more importantly, I use it to facilitate detoxification in people. So when they correct their body's metabolic functioning using bioenergetics, they're able to detox better. They're able to absorb nutrients better. And then more importantly, they're able to feel better. They're able to relieve their symptoms better. But a lot of people come to me really, really sick, and they know they need to detox. They know they have mercury or lead or cadmium or whatever, but they're too sick to detox. I'm like, what the hell do I do with these people? So I was kind of called out of the universe. How do I help these people? And then I met Harry Massey and I started using this protocol. People, they get better so fast. I mean, I just did an interview with Sterling Hill, who's a genetics expert. She's a genius. She owns mthfrsupport.com, and just an incredible pain, a thyroid cancer, just neck issues, 3 bulging discs in her neck, anxiety up the roof, just all kinds of problems. She started NES within like 3 weeks. Her pain went in half, no more anxiety. She's sleeping better. She's like, I feel 20 years younger.
Yeah.
I mean, in like 3 weeks. And you don't get that with zinc supplements.
I think a lot of people find, it's fascinating to me, a lot of people find detox to be so complicated, Wendy, but you've done the work, I mean, over the years to really simplify and give people some pragmatic steps. Because let's be honest, like detox, it's a very like catered to marketing term out there where there's a lot of programs and supplements and pills and powders that are sold around, quote, detoxing. I mean, even if you think about, not to call them out too much, but like Asuja Detox here, they're based in San Diego, or even like Metagenics and companies that are out there that are just producing powders, but these are all external things. Before we even detox at all, do we first, this was a question from Samantha in our Facebook group. We ask questions in the Wellness Force group. If you're curious about guests that are coming on with expertise like Wendy around specificity of things that are so nuanced like detox, join our group. It's wellnessforce.com/group. One of the questions that was asked though is, don't we have to first support the organs that help us detox before we start doing the deep dive into detox itself? Is that true? And can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you definitely want to get your digestion working well. You want to be pooping. It's good. I recommend coffee enemas for that, because if your pathways of elimination aren't working, you don't want to start mobilizing all these toxins that then need an exit. And they don't have any exit, then they're just going to redistribute somewhere else. So yeah, there's truth to that. But using the bioenergetic protocol that we use, NES Health, is a great way to do that as well, to get the the liver and the kidneys, the colon, the skin working optimally. But yeah, for sure, you want the detox organs working well. But one of the first steps actually for detox is taking binders. And I've kind of come up with a really simple 3-step system for people to just start thinking about detox without really having to do a whole lot of thinking.
Yeah.
It's called the mitochondria detox. And it comes with a binder. There's a bioenergetic supplement in there. And then there's something called activated silica. And it's a really simple system that people can use to start detoxing. And it will start absorbing toxins and absorbing chemicals of that nature. Because really the first step in any detox is taking binders before you start doing anything.
What do those binders actually do? What are they supporting for us?
It's just a sponge. It's just absorbing metals and chemicals. That's all it's doing.
And then we also can use nutrition in that regard too. Is there a starting place? I know we're taking a big lens here that we're looking through. Is there even a starting place in combination with these binders through nutrient loads to help detoxify as well? Or is that like a case-by-case basis?
Well, no, taking dietarily, eating tons of fiber is a great way to detox because the metals get caught up in the fibers. A lot of binders are just fibers, and because fibers bind toxins, they bind metals. So people have higher fiber intake. They live longer because one of the reasons they're binding up metals and chemicals and then pooping them out. Binders are super, super important. That's why juice fasts don't really work all that great for detoxification because there's no fiber. So people can do a juice fast, but I'd recommend taking some sort of binders or fiber to help bind onto any metals that you might be mobilizing with the juice fast.
So there's many ways to detox. You talked about binders. We know that juice, it sounds like there's no fiber in juicing, so it's not really going to help people as much as if they were taking in adequate amounts of fiber. How much fiber are we talking about here?
Well, not really all that much. I mean, as far as a supplementation, I usually recommend people take 5 to maybe even 15 milligrams of my Citra Cleanse. And it's a modified citrus pectin. And so that's, in addition to dietary fiber. So usually, 3 to 5 cups a day of vegetables or just, 1 or 2 servings of vegetables at every meal is plenty for people to get enough fiber.
Yeah,
so most people aren't coming close to that.
This isn't always sexy because when you tell people to eat vegetables, it's like, wait, can't I just do it somewhere else? And the answer is no. I mean, how important is eating high quality vegetables when we look at natural detoxification? A deeper question for me is, doesn't the liver just help us naturally detox? Do we even need detox in general? Just playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah, well, so that's a very common question. And that's, where I get some naysayers on my site, like, oh, your liver does all the detox. Detox is BS. Well, that sounds great, but a lot of people's livers are compromised. Number one, because we have 100,000 chemicals in our environment. Our liver has to break all that down. Then you add refined grains and sugar. Our liver has to break all that down. And then you add all the inflammatory industrial seed oils. Liver's got to deal with that. So it's dealing with all these 911s typically. And so it's overloaded with all these toxins that we have. And then, there's millions of people have fatty liver disease and diabetes and all these different health issues that impede their body's ability to detox. Usually the liver has other jobs that are 911s it has to do, and detox gets put on the back burner. Then detoxification takes energy. And so if people don't have enough energy, that gets, again, put on the back burner. Their body is going to prioritize more important tasks. So typically, people spend decades accumulating all these toxins. They don't have an exit route, and they accumulate. So yeah, your liver does detox you, but it's not equipped to deal with the insults and all the number of metals and chemicals that we're faced with today.
I'm almost visualizing as you were speaking, Wendy, like a filter for our home, like people that have air filters in their home, they change those filters every year or so, whatever it is. And then when they pull them out, there's all this black stuff. And one might think, wow, was I breathing all of that if I didn't have the filter? Like the biggest filter in the human body, every 4 minutes or so, it cycles through all of our blood, is the liver. I mean, this is kind of like higher intelligence's way of keeping us clean. Do you have a favorite way that you educate people on keeping the liver clean?
Coffee enemas. Hallelujah. Those are one of the best things that you can do. I mean, there's no better way to mechanically detox the liver. Yeah, you can take liver support supplements, and that's great.
Yeah.
I always recommend liver support supplementation wise with mushrooms and milk thistle and things like that. But really doing a coffee enema is a great way. It's kind of like a sponge where you're wringing out the liver and helping to release its toxic contents, then dump into the intestines for elimination. So that's really, a couple times a week. You don't have to do it every single day.
Yeah.
But a couple times a week goes a long way to really giving that liver a helping hand.
This reminds me of the first time I tried a coffee enema. I was like kind of embarrassed. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is for my health. Don't be embarrassed. There's so many beautiful things that happen from coffee enemas. I'm thinking about, we had a guest on the show. We talked about the deeper aspects, no pun intended, of sticking a tube where you might not want to, but yet it has so many ramifications for our better health, Wendy. I mean, it goes into these tight junctions, correct me if I'm wrong, and it literally removes kind of caked on matter. What's going on there scientifically with this detox through coffee enema?
Yeah, well, I don't think it's not really about cleaning the colon so much. I mean, the coffee enema does evacuate the colon, but more importantly, it has like a hormetic effect where it shocks the liver. The caffeine shocks the liver into dumping its toxic contents. It dilates all the capillaries in the liver. The caffeine does, like it does, when you're drinking coffee, you dilate all your all the capillaries in your brain and whatnot, and you feel alive. But the same thing happens to your liver, where you're, activating that liver and getting it excreting the toxins in a faster way. That's why there's a lot of natural cancer therapies, a lot of natural cancer clinics have their patients do coffee enemas 4 times a day.
Yeah.
When they have cancer, they're trying to get rid of that because it facilitates and speeds up your body's ability to detox. So really, really important in that regard. But a great byproduct is cleaning out the colon, but that's not really what we're doing it for. It only goes up the first third of your large colon. It's not really going up all the way through the entire 3 feet of it or whatever, like you would say colon hydrotherapy. That's filling up the whole colon until you're gonna feel like you're gonna explode.
Yeah.
And then you release. But this is more just a tiny bit of coffee, just to get a little bit of caffeine in there to get that liver reacting.
This is such a great point in our conversation too, because I'm thinking about the misconceptions about detoxing. We've already talked about this a little bit. The metal toxicity is something you really have a lot of expertise in. There is a lot of info out there about amalgam fillings and the metals that are in our food. And like we talked about in the beginning of the show, like babies that are being born and there's already metal in their system. When we look at heavy metals, is there even a way to begin to identify if we've reached a toxic limit, or should we just all kind of act as if and then test and clean accordingly?
Well, you can just act as if. I mean, everyone has toxic metals in them. And statistically, I've done statistical analysis with, one of my partners who's a medical doctor, 35 years practicing physician, and we've pulled all of our thousands of tests that we've done, found that everyone has mercury toxicity, everyone has aluminum, everyone has lead, most people have cadmium and nickel. I mean, we're just full of metals. So you can just start a detox. I mean, like my mitochondria detox is a great place to start. That's on my site, myersdetox.com. It's right on the homepage. And that's a wonderful place to begin. And then you can start, an education about detoxification on my site. But testing is always great to see where you're at. Some people have some weird metals, and it's great to identify them so you can take specific supplements to really target those metals and remove them. But a hair mineral analysis is a great place to start. But I also do urine, DMSA challenge test, and stool as well, because different metals come out in different ways in the body. So that's the most comprehensive thing to do to get all those tests. But hair mineral analysis will definitely get you going and tell you a lot of information about your health and mineral deficiencies and toxicities.
So then for kids, the kids that are born with these metals in their system, is detoxing different for children versus adults? What are the safe practices for young ladies and young men? These little humans that are walking around. How do we detox them compared to adults?
Yeah, so kids, it's hard to get them to take a lot of supplements. And same thing with my daughter. She's not taking any pills. It's not going to happen.
How old is your daughter?
She's 7.
Oh yeah,
She's
there's
about to
no
be
way
8.
unless it's wrapped in like some candy or something.
Not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I give her a smoothie with some, sneak some stuff in there, but she can always taste it. She's like these super taste buds. But I prefer with children and babies doing our Nest Health Bioenergetic program, because that's the best way to get their body working perfectly. And I mean, the strides that some of my clients that are autistic or their kids have ADHD, it's unbelievable the results they get. So if someone's like a normal, healthy, functioning child, they also make amazing strides in their health, not only physically, but emotionally as well, and in their mental functioning and capacity and their ability to detox. So it's just, I prefer with children because all they have to do is drink water once a day to do the Nest Health program. So it's very, very simple protocol.
I'm going to look at this Nest Health program. This looks fascinating to me because it's funny. Before you and I even recorded, I was talking about this contrast on the show of physical and emotional. And you're like, well, the physical stuff I have a good handle on, but the emotional stuff, that's a totally different story. And I think that
I've read the book, Emotional Intelligence.
I don't know if
I haven't mastered.
It goes for all of us, though, in this world. It's like this continuum of learning here. And I'm curious at this point, too. I want to ask you a question, and then I want to go to more of the practical stuff for people listening and watching. What continues to fascinate you? We know what drives you, but what drives your curiosity in regards to detox and continuing your learning and creating all the programs that you're putting out?
Well, I'm really fascinated by bioenergetics and just the results that I keep seeing with people, and just the health issues people have, very serious diagnoses, and those clearing up in, a few months doing bioenergetics. And so it's in its infancy, the field is, and there's a lot of different protocols out there, but I think it's one of the most fascinating ways to work with the body. And I think it's really the future of medicine. Energy medicine's the future of medicine, just working quantumly on the body. And also it has more kind of compelling things behind it because like the energy we put out in the world comes back to us. So it's making much more responsible. And with the knowledge I have as a Nest Health practitioner, I'm trying to be much more responsible in my thoughts and my words and all the energy that I'm putting out there, because it goes out everywhere. It goes out into, the ecos or what have you. And so, and it's just, I don't know, I've just had profound changes in my life from it, and I'm seeing these amazing changes in my clients. So it's really a privilege to be able to offer that to people.
I love that we're having a show where we're diving into the nuances of detoxification, and you talked about being responsible for our vibration. Like that to me is a clear testament to the work you're doing. And this is what leads us to the pragmatism here. It's like we understand the emotional is important, and that's our work to continue doing that. But for the practical kind of everyday, I guess you could say, order of operations for detox, is there a true order of operations for detox?
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. You want to, I think the foundation that I like to start with people is doing bioenergetics and doing that for about 6 months or so. And especially if they're really, really ill, and that gets them to a certain point where they're ready to detox. And then after that, you want to start working on digestion if that hasn't been resolved already with Nest Health. And then you want to be taking supplements. Nutrition's really, really important. I really like Oceans Alive. It's a marine phytoplankton that's great for getting all your minerals and your nutrients. And then once you're kind of set with all of that, then you can go into the more heavy duty detoxification supplements or chelation that might be needed. Thank
you for sharing that order, because what I'm hearing from you, if somebody goes into like the hardcore work first, it could actually cause some damage. Like there's a system here.
Yeah, if someone's really, really ill, or you have multiple health diagnoses, most people, they need to detox. I mean, heavy metals may have damaged their immune system or damaged their metabolism or their blood sugar. They have diabetes or whatever their health issues are. We know that you need to detox. We know the metals are interfering in your body's metabolic issues in various ways. But, many people they're not ready for that. If they're really chronically fatigued, you need energy to detox. If you're not sleeping at all, you detox primarily in your sleep. There's a certain order in which we have to do things. And I find that starting people on a Nest Health bioenergetic program gets people kind of prepped and takes care of a lot of issues first. But we want to address the body physically as well, of course. But yeah, if you have multiple health diagnoses, you usually got to start do certain groundwork, foundational work before jumping into detox.
So cost effectiveness, people might say, I know I have heavy metals, Wendy, but like I don't have the money to pay for that, or it's not a big deal to me. I mean, it's very clear that whatever we ignore will come back to us in regards to health with interest. It's going to come back way stronger. So it's like the money we spend up front is so valuable compared to waiting and saying, I don't have the money to spend on my health right now versus having it come back and ripple into like 4 times the amount and honestly shortening our life. You're the host of this Live to 110 podcast. Is detoxification the real foundation here? Is that the true foundation for living to 110?
Yeah, I think it's one of the bigger things that people need to be thinking about. I mean, definitely detoxification of heavy metals. And I think also addressing the body bioenergetically is really, really important as well, because I haven't seen anything that works as well as bioenergetics and addressing health issues. But definitely heavy metals and chemicals are a huge threat to our health on so many different levels. I mean, I've been researching toxic metals and chemicals for almost a decade now, and I'm just amazed at how I read about how almost every single health issue, diagnoses, symptoms, psychiatric diagnosis can have an underlying metal or chemical component that's contributing to that or outright causing it. And so it's really very, very clear to me that, you know, you do need to detox metals and chemicals if you want to permanently resolve health issues and have the sleep good and, you know, have the energy that you deserve and have the mental health that you want. Removing metals from your body is a huge component in achieving that.
Where the hell are all these metals coming from? Like, are they flying around in the air? We know they're in deodorant, like aluminum in deodorant. It's a big one. For 4 years now, I've been using aluminum free. I used to get these red rashes on my armpits. And I just thought, it's the Gillette deodorant, but I don't want to stink up the room. Now I found there's so many beautiful products that are coming out. I'm sure you're aware of many, but where the hell is all this metal coming from?
You know, it's in our air, food, and water. It's in everything. Yeah. And unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff in our air. There's chemtrails being sprayed in our air. There's a lot of barium and aluminum, other things being sprayed into the air to control the climate. And unfortunately, you know, we're breathing all that in, but then there's the coal burning that's released mercury and cadmium into the air. And why do all of our fish have mercury? It's because the coal burning has released all this mercury, and then it settles into the ocean and then has gone into our food chain. And then we consume it in the food. And then even in organic food, it's chemical free. It's not metal free. You know, all the leaded gasoline and all the fuels released into the air by car exhaust. And that, you know, we don't use leaded fuel anymore. We use unleaded. But for decades, that got released into the air, has settled into our soils. So it's still in the soils. It's still being absorbed by the vegetables. And then we get these greens powders and juice drinks and all these things have lead in them. That's why they get a Prop 65 warning, because that's, you know, to protect consumers from lead. But all the food-based products have that warning because they all have lead in them because of the leaded gasoline. So it's just, and then it's in our water. I mean, it's just everywhere. You can't escape it. You can't live in a bubble.
I'm feeling depressed, Wendy. You're making us feel so sad right here. Like, I'm
Debbie Downer.
Do we have hope? Podcast. Like, share with us, please. Do we have hope around blocking these things in our air, food, and water? What does that hope feel and look like?
Yeah. No, there's only so much you can do. You want to control the most obvious sources. You know, you don't want to be eating, you know, sushi every single day and what, like I used to do. You don't want to be drinking tap water. You know, there's very simple low-hanging fruit, things you want to avoid doing. But no matter how much you can control, because believe me, I've tried, you can't protect yourself from everything. And so that's why you have to have a simple, sensible, lifelong detoxification strategy, which is what I teach people. Things, just something you're doing every day, whether it's a supplement or a coffee enema or infrared sauna or just little something every single day to facilitate and help your body remove these toxins.
What about photobiomodulation? Tomorrow, I'm going to be interviewing the guys from Juve. I'm curious, when we look at infrared versus photobiomodulation, how does that actually clean things up? What is it really doing there, Wendy? What's your experience with that?
Well, the near-infrared LEDs aren't really detoxing your body. They are really more activating your mitochondria. They're helping to produce collagen, and that's really, really healthy for you because our body needs that wavelength of light, but it's not detoxing you. So there's near-infrared saunas that use near-infrared bulbs or near-infrared pulses, and those in the heat, facilitate sweating, and when you sweat in an infrared sauna as opposed to a regular sauna, like a Swedish or Finnish dry sauna, you have much more productive sweat. So you have much more toxins come out than a regular sauna. These saunas are a really important facet of detoxification, but it's really that heat and the sweating that helps the detox process.
And who doesn't love a good sweat too? Speaking of sweating, Amanda from our group asked, Wendy, I'm really excited to learn about detoxing while being an athlete. One thing I'd love is your expertise on claims to be detoxing that don't seem safe while training. What type of detoxing should I be doing as an athlete?
Yes, well, one thing about as an athlete, detoxification takes energy. And so that's a price that a lot of athletes don't want to pay while they're trying to train or, do contests or whatever they're doing, marathons, what have you. And so really just taking binders is a great way to detox. And, facilitating your body's ability to detox, taking binders, something like my mitochondria detox is very, very simple. But it's just when you're maybe on downtime, I know that athletes aren't training at full speed all the time. So maybe when you have a period of downtime, that's when you're going to really focus more hardcore on doing a more intense detoxification protocol, like taking, EDTA or sodium lipoic acid or R-lipoic acid, or taking other things to have a more intense detox and focusing more on saunas and things like that. And then kind of doing more of a light detox strategy when you're training or competing.
What are a few light detox strategies? Because we know, the heavy metal detox, it takes energy. And I love that you brought that up. This is a big takeaway for our conversation. If you're going to do a heavier detox, be prepared to exude energy to do that.
Yes.
The last thing that you want to do is go through this crazy detox program that's going to take away your energy if you're not really operating with enough energy right now. So then what are the beginning steps for somebody that just wants to kind of put their foot into the detox? You talked about the binders. Anything else as far as maybe a lower cost or a beginning step for people?
Yeah, really the easiest way to just start detox is with my mitochondria detox. And then you start with a binder, you start with the activated silica that helps you to start mobilizing some metals specifically that cause fatigue. So the activated silica product that I developed, it detoxes arsenic, aluminum, tin, thallium, and cesium. And these are metals that interfere in your body's ability to produce energy. They poison enzymes that transport nutrients into your mitochondria, which make your body's energy, or ATP. So when you take the activated silica, you take the CitraCleanse, which is a modified citrus pectin product, and then I have a product called Detox, which is a bioenergetic product that helps to send correct operating instructions to your cells and to your mitochondria and help your mitochondria and your cells detox better. Those three products are a great entry point to anyone wanting to do a detox or seeking to improve their energy levels through detox.
There is a lot of information about fluoride in our water and fluoride in toothpaste and fluoride in general, that there's opposing forces here. I mean, you brought up earlier this paradigm of big pharma shutting down natural news. What about fluoride? The true narrative. Give us the truth, please, Wendy. What is the real truth about fluoride? Does it have negative ramifications? Are there tiny amounts that are safe, or is this something we don't want in our body at all?
We don't want it in our body at all. You need trace amounts. I mean, our body needs very small amounts of it. But the fluoride that's in toothpaste, and that's actually an industrial waste product. And it's something that we do not need. And the fluoride amounts are just very, very tiny in toothpaste. But and the fluoride that's added to our waters, very, very bad idea. There's I think a 14,000 page, decades long, all different kinds of studies, meta-analyses have been submitted to the EPA to try to get them to stop mandating fluoridation of our water, because it's known to cause cancer, causes reduction of minerals in our bones. It calcifies our pineal gland, which reduces our body's ability to make melatonin so that we sleep. A lot of things working against melatonin production. And so fluoridation is very, very toxic to our body. And I recommend people removing all fluoridated type products from their body. When you go to the dentist and do a seal of fluoride, I don't get too worked up about that. And that can be really helpful to prevent cavities in children and whatnot. But generally, you want to avoid fluoridated toothpaste and remove fluoride from your drinking and shower water, so it doesn't get in your body, because it also interferes in thyroid function in many different ways, and so it's just a big problem.
Why is it put in the water in the first place? Like, what the hell is fluoride doing in our water?
I know, because some wannabe Einstein decided that that'd be a great idea to prevent cavities in people. So,
and that was it. And so it's just like, how many things are like this in our health and wellness industry where, somebody did it 50 years ago and it's just the way it's been? Is there anything like a primary misconception that still affects you, that makes you upset when you come across it and that you're helping to change the narrative around? Is there one or two things that people can just know are absolutely not true, that conventional wisdom pushes as the truth?
Anything I can think of offhand? I don't know. I'd have to think about it for a second.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, it's like just doing these basic things where we're eating, we're moving, and we're sleeping really well. That can help us detox without taking anything, right? And then, of course, people that have higher levels of mercury, higher levels of metal toxicity, because they've maybe lived in an environment where there was pollution. I'm thinking about people that live in big cities like New York and next to power plants and things like this. Do they approach this paradigm of detoxification totally differently than someone that lives in Cheyenne, Wyoming?
Not necessarily. I mean, certainly someone living in an urban environment is going to have more exposure to toxins in the air and the water usually. But even if you're living in a remote environment, you can't escape it. I mean, most people are born with a lot of lead in them because we get that from our mothers in utero, because it's in our mother's bones. And if the mother has, mercury fillings, that goes into the baby. And even if you live in a remote area, you can't escape it. I mean, all these toxins, they're in the soil, they are in the air, and it's just, unfortunately, you're better off living out in the country or whatnot. But many people, they still have to think about detoxification.
Yes, this is my dream, to live out in the country where I'm not near any of the EMF or pollutants. That would be phenomenal.
Yeah, the EMF is horrible. Yeah, it's terrible.
So that's a whole different podcast. So you have a quiz. People can take inspired action from this conversation.
Yes.
The quiz is metalquiz.com, metalsquiz, plural.com.
Yes.
People can also reach out to you directly. This is Myers Detox. What do you think we can really let people do tomorrow morning, or maybe even now? They've finished watching the podcast. They just want to do one thing. They're going to go through and listen again because we did go over quite a bit. But what's the one thing that you just wish more people would do in regards to detox?
Yeah, I mean, really just starting simple, taking binders. Like my mitochondria detox is a great starting point while you're kind of trying to learn about detox. That's on store.myersdetox.com. You can also take the metals quiz. That'll be up in about 5 to 6 days. So metalsquiz.com. And just, you can listen to my podcasts. I've got the Live to 110 podcast about detox, and I've got a supercharged podcast about bioenergetics. And I have a couple of Facebook groups also where people can kind of engage and learn. One's called the Myers Detox Protocol for Detox. The other one is the NES Health Clients Group.
So if you're feeling inspired by this, go to the metals quiz, go to myersdetox.com. 3 big questions for you before we say goodbye. The first one is around resources. We're always going through this life. We're finding what works, what doesn't. What's been a go-to for you as a practitioner, as an influencer? What are 1 or 2 resources that you depend on, influencers, books, whatever it might be, that guide you, that help you along your path?
Yeah, you know what? I actually work with a couple of energy workers that have really been helpful to me. In starting Bioenergetics, I think I've had a lot more awareness around energy and how other people's energy affects us, and how you utilize your energy and your will and your thoughts and your attitude really impacts your life and your decisions and your happiness. So I've been working with someone named Shauna Lee. She's kind of like an intuitive, where she can just help you along your path and making the right decisions. And she has this gift where she can really see what decision you make, like the exact outcome. It sounds really weird, but since I started working with her, all these crazy things have started happening and releasing and changing, and I've had some really, really quick transition. And so I've been really fascinated by that, because in the past, I mean, if you look on my website, every article has like 20 scientific references. I've been very hardcore science, data driven. Everything has to have, studies behind it. And I've really realized that there's a lot to our bodies, our energy and energy work and energy medicine. So I've really become fascinated by that and having that really direct my life and my decisions and whatnot.
See, now to me and to everyone listening, now we just trust you even more.
Yeah.
Because we know that you have the academia, we know you love the analytical and the science, and then you also love to take the breath and connect with something that you don't necessarily understand on a logical level, but you feel it in your emotional body. And this is the second question, actually. It's around emotional intelligence. Before we recorded, you said, hey, I'm great with the science, with the emotional side is something I'm still leaning into, right? So what is your work right now, Wendy? As a practitioner that serves so many people across the world, how are you leaning into your emotional intelligence?
Yeah, really working on the bioenergetic level because before I started using Nest Health, I was really frustrated. I had just gotten divorced and I just was really trying to figure out who I was again and feeling really, really frustrated. I was exhausted a lot and just kind of grinding it out, doing work and just not happy when I'm like, I should have every reason to be happy. And like, what's going on? And so I started this bioenergetic program, the Nest Health. And I just started releasing so much stuff. And because what this program does is you do a scan, you see in the software, you see all of your different emotional traumas that you have. It's really profound. There's decades of work behind this one little page in the software. And so you identify your emotional traumas and you release them. And I was just blown away by how much better I felt when I started doing this. And so for me, there's a lot of issues that people have where they feel stuck and they're not always consciously aware of the emotional trauma behind their compulsive behavior, behind their addictions, behind why they're not sleeping, why they feel stressed all the time. That they're not always aware of it, and so you can't talk that out in talk therapy if you're not consciously aware of it. And so the scan doesn't lie. The scan will see what your traumas are and help you release them without you having to be consciously aware of them or really having to do any work, which I like, a lot. So, yeah. And so it's great. It's great to have a way to release that. It makes me just feel very calm and peaceful that I know that I'm doing this work on an emotional level, and it's incredibly effective and it's simple also. Yeah. And so so I'm working on my emotional health without really having to do any work.
This is why we've enjoyed sharing this time with you so much. It's like this energy flow through all living beings. We all have bioenergetics. It's energy and our biology combined in this exploration. Bessel van der Kolk's work with The Body Keeps the Score, even Johnny Blackburn, who's been on the show, Somatic Experiencing. Like, none of this stuff is just woo-woo. It's just deemed woo-woo because there's no real way to quantify and perfectly explain what it's doing. Like you can't
do double-blind scientific studies.
It's hard to quantify. How do you quantify emotion?
Yeah, you can't. I don't care about studies so much now. I care about results and what works. And so doing that cell, they're doing other kinds of quantum health techniques out there. There's lots of them now. They work. And homeopathy works. Other types of energy medicine works. So I really care about results. I don't get caught up when it comes to energy medicine, so caught up in the studies. Though Nest Health has about 15 different studies that they've done that are really impressive.
I'm thinking of one of my favorite quotes that you made me believe, again, is true right now. And it's from Carl Jung. And he talks about, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will run your life and you will call it fate. And that's really what we're talking about here. And of course, detox is a pathway for us to get more clear in our physical body. This is what it's all about, this physical and the emotional. So the last question for you before we say goodbye is wellness. This physical and emotional leads to our spiritual. They're all included. How do you define it, though? How does Wendy Myers see and define wellness for her in her life?
Wellness is really waking up, feeling really good. I think, and there's a lot of people that not sleeping good, or they wake up, they're exhausted, or they've slept in 8 hours and they wake up still exhausted, or there's a lot of people out there that have every reason in the world to be happy. There's a lot of very fortunate people out there, yet they wake up unhappy, exhausted, frustrated, angry. And there's a lot of different reasons for that. But I think really for me, wellness is waking up feeling really good and being positive. So that's what I work towards. And that's what I kind of do everything that I'm doing. So I wake up feeling happy and trying to take care of myself so that I can take care of other people. It's a big responsibility that I have with just all the things that I'm doing and people listening to me, trying to just, walk the walk and not just talk the talk,
And do them both. Well, this has been incredible. I've learned some new things. I had no idea. I feel like a great conversation is when we learn things that are brand new. We challenge ourselves to learn something we thought was right that actually could take in a different path. And then also too, it's this inspired action piece. So make sure that you go to Myers Detox as well as medalsquiz.com. Learn more about this. This is something where you're not going to cover it in one day, but I know you got some deep breaths and some deeper thoughts as to where you can go. So Wendy, thank you for coming on the show. So enjoy you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hey, my friend, thank you for hanging out and growing with me on today's show. Remember to hit subscribe, share this podcast with somebody you care about that you think gets to hear this message. Support the show by leaving a 5-star review for the podcast right now, simply by tapping on your show artwork on your iPhone. Click that purple link that says review this podcast. It helps the show reach more conscious and smart people like you, and your voice will attract more world-class guests that want to come on the show. So let them hear your voice. For all the downloads, videos, links, and free resources mentioned on the episode, go to wellnessforce.com/radio. And while you're at my house on the web, join us in the Wellness Force community newsletter on that page, and I'll send you 4 free guides around staying healthy with your eating, moving, and sleeping while you travel. But don't let this conversation stop here. Join a group of people like you over at the Wellness Force community Facebook page. This is where we talk about the things that really matter. We share our wins, inspirations, struggles, and a lot more. So join us, tap on the show artwork on your phone, and hit that purple link that says join the Facebook group, and I will welcome you at the door. Okay, now you get to go out into your world and create impact for the people that you care about. So until I see you again real soon, I'm wishing you love and wellness.